on. Microphone audio's on. Say something.
All right, so Sailor Moon sucks.
Anime wise.
Well, that's what we're talking about, right? I didn't read the manga.
I haven't yet. I'm going to read the manga, but we
How
just.
long did it take you to buy it, though?
I didn't say anything about buying it. I got ways to read manga without buying it.
For legal reasons.
But the anime we watched was Sailor Moon. We watched the first 10 episodes of it over the course of like multiple weeks.
Many, many weeks.
I think we started watching it back during the winter. I really should like put dates.
I don't think it was that long ago.
With the next one, I'm definitely putting dates next to my notes so we know exactly when we started it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But out of the 10 episodes, it's a lot of fucking filler just in those 10 episodes. Like, only like 3 episodes that we watched wasn't filler.
Yeah, so we were on like episode 4, actually.
Like, I get it, they're fluffing it out, getting us a chance to enjoy the main character, main cast. But that's a lot of filler in just the first 10 episodes.
It's
Like,
a lot,
the anime
yeah.
itself is 49% filler. That doesn't beat out GT, which is all filler, but it's 49% filler.
Still hilarious that GT is 100%. I'm never gonna get over that.
Well, GT is always going to be 100% no matter what.
Yeah. What about what is it? That Dragon Ball spin-off where it introduced like Super Saiyan 4 and
The
Goku's from alternate timelines.
Super Dragon Ball Heroes that's on YouTube,
Yeah.
that's all filler, but that's because it's an anime video game promotion for arcade games in Japan.
Wish I knew that. I want to play those games.
It actually did get ported to America, but for the 3DS.
Gross.
But
So it's old.
yeah, it's more filler than Naruto though. OG Naruto. 41% of OG Naruto was filler.
And what was Shippuden?
Ship it in offhand. Give me a second. Bookmarks. I have the site bookmarked.
So it's not offhand.
No, I wrote down certain fillers. I just didn't write down ship it ins. I want you to know that theme song is going to be stuck in my head for weeks.
Good.
Naruto Shippuden is 40% filler.
Still way too much.
But the main canon episodes weren't too bad for Sailor Moon.
No, the canon episodes were my favorite because they actually did something.
It progressed the plot.
They did anything at all.
But I will admit, even with the rewatches for my notes, I really fucking hate Umino.
Who?
The nerd friend.
Oh, that's his name.
Yeah. So
The creep.
There
The
will,
creep.
There will eventually be a Gundam anime like discussion where we watch a few episodes of Gundam. We figured we started out with Sailor Moon because of how highly talked Sailor Moon is within the anime community, with it being stated as one of the animes that helped get anime big. But other than that, I don't really see. I like it, don't get me wrong. I'm going to sit down and watch the rest of the series. But I don't really see the connection. But yeah, no, I fucking hate that nerd friend.
Yeah. Is he a villain later on?
I hope
Do
so.
Do you know? Does he die?
So within the first episode, it's where we're introduced to the main character Usagi. We're introduced to Luna the cat, and it's just her figuring out that she's a Sailor Guardian. Of course, it also introduces us to one of Saul's favorite things about the show. If you want to pipe up what that is.
Oh, you mean Sailor Moon's mom?
Yes, Sailor Moon's mom.
Yeah, the one that's hot.
Yes.
Just making sure we all know. We got to be on the same page with that.
The show has weirdly hot moms because it's not just Usagi's mom. It was also the redheaded friends. Because remember, in that episode, the redheaded friend's mom was selling jewelry that was... It wasn't her mom, but it was like the monster to look like her mom.
Oh, yeah.
And as
Look,
a... It was a
there,
running...
there are some hot characters in it.
Mainly the monsters and the moms.
Yeah.
All the over 18 characters, as it should be.
Yeah.
Because it's not really discussed a lot, but Usagi is only like 14, a freshman in high school in American standards. Or if we're going to use her OG English dub name, Serenity.
No. Don't use that name.
No, that is her legit like OG English dub back when the English dub was changing everything. That was her English dub name was Serenity.
Yeah, don't use anything from English dub. Don't.
Also, it's the fact that Tuxedo Mask also has his first appearance in this episode. And it's only for 17 seconds. He tells her not to cry because crying won't solve anything. But that's legit how she defeats that villain in that episode, is she's crying so loud that like shockwaves went through.
I think it's brilliant because he's setting her up for defeat. Because he's so totally a villain.
Oh, 100%. He's either a villain or he's being controlled, dude. Like...
Yeah. He shows up, does nothing, leaves.
But yeah, no. My main note for this episode was, fuck the nerd friend and his 95 on a test.
And my notes was, fuck the mom. But in a different way. If that's understandable.
No, I got what you were saying.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure you got what I was saying?
Yes.
I could expand upon that if you want.
Well, with the parents in it, like, it worries me because her parents have such a good relationship in the show. And we've watched enough anime throughout the years. That means one of them is going to die. And my vote is the dad.
Well, the dad is pretty much a non-character at this point. Does way less than the mom, even. And they're barely in the show.
They're barely in the show for the first 10 episodes, but, like, it shows them with just...
Huh?
I regret scrolling through Twitter as we're doing this because...
Why would you do that? Why would you scroll through Twitter?
Because my Twitter was open and my ADHD was getting the better of me, and...
Go put Twitter away.
Yeah, because I'm watching an Elmo mech anime.
No. Don't.
We need to watch that later.
Put Twitter away.
But, no. Without as much anime as we've watched, it worries me. And then for some reason, the little fucking red dots on her head, like in the bun, like ponytail type deal thing she got going on.
Mm-hmm, yeah. The android energy absorber things?
Yeah, in the first episode, they're radios.
Huh? They were radios?
Yeah, Luna was able to communicate with her with them.
I guess I missed that.
It took a rewatch of the episode to figure that out.
Why didn't they use that later?
That's what I'm saying. And why is she the only one with them? Like, because in the next few
Well,
episodes,
she's the main character,
yeah,
so
and they need to be able to differentiate her.
yeah.
But yeah,
If not through character design, then through useless abilities that are never used ever again.
But yeah, so far he's been on screen for 17 seconds.
Yeah.
And then
Do we count the filler episodes for how long he's on screen?
I am, because before we found out there were actual filler episodes, I was keeping a tally for those episodes too.
Understandable.
And you know, most people who sit down and watch an anime, they don't recognize what's filler or not filler anymore.
I don't know. There's a lot of guides to navigate through filler.
Yeah, but how many people actually look through the guides?
I don't know.
So, I'm reading through my notes real quick for episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pull up my actual typed notes because I feel like they're a lot more congruent than "fuck the nerd friend" again.
I'm betting that it's just fuck the nerd friend.
A lot of this
And that's all it is.
a lot of my notes. Any episode that he pops up in has just been "fuck the nerd friend."
Because episode 2 is probably also filler.
No, episode
right?
1 was. I think episode 1 and 2 aren't filler. Let me pull up the filler.
If episode 1 is filler, we have problems.
There's a few animes that start with episode 1 being a filler
That is god awful.
to build up stuff for the character. But yeah, so basically after episode 1, everything up till episode 8 is filler.
Yeah. And in that span of episodes, nothing happens. Monsters get defeated in one hit, and nothing else happens.
So episode 1 was titled "The Crybaby: Usagi's Beautiful Transformation." Makes sense.
Mhm.
It's the first episode. It should have the the main character's name in the title. Gives you a decent thing of this is her first time turning into Sailor Moon. The second episode, "Punishment Awaits. The House of Fortune is the Monster Mansion." It's I think the one where they're getting their tarot cards or something like that read to them.
Isn't that the one where everyone just acts like dicks afterwards?
Yes. So
Yeah. And then the nerd friend acts even more like an asshole.
So the episode starts out with the usual "I'm Usagi, I'm this, I'm this."
The intro to the anime, yeah.
One of the main things that stuck out to me and it was put in my notes is Usagi's a Cancer.
Huh?
Like the zodiac.
She says
sign.
that?
Yes. So I said, do with
Right. So
I said, do with that information of what you will.
So the parents, right? They'll die of cancer, is what I'm guessing.
Probably.
Yeah, I think it's foreshadowing.
But yeah, legit. After that is fuck the nerd friend for pointing out Usagi's flaws and then saying he is in love with her.
Yeah. Fuck the nerd friend.
And then I pointed out that the fact that she's in love with the arcade guy that shows up this episode, the blonde guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, it's a little fucking weird because he kind of plays into the fact that, haha, I see that you like me, and he's fucking 20. I don't know his actual age, but I feel like he's 20.
Why don't you look it up? I mean, we thought Tuxedo Mask was 28 because that's how he's drawn, and he's only 17 or 16. Let me know when you find it.
His name is Makoto Furuhara. He is 19. But that's for Sailor Moon Crystal, which is the spin-off. Not spin-off, but the sequel series.
Is that the only age that came up?
I'm on his wiki.
or you could just search up her age in Crystal, and we can deduce from there.
Alignment, civilian. Good to know, I guess. Manga info, real quick. Because he is canon to the manga.
Good. Wait, alignment civilian?
Yeah.
All right, so that's my next alignment for a D&D character.
So yeah, he's 19 to 20 according to the wiki.
Dang. Yeah, that one's creepy.
Which we'll go character real quick. Manga. Senshin, I guess. Usagi's. So Usagi's full birthday is June 30th, 1977. Because remember, it takes place in like the 90s.
Yes. Back in the far past.
So where the anime starts, because it has all of her ages set out. Where the anime starts, she's 14. The next arc, she's 15. She's 16. And then the final arc is, for the epilogue, 22.
Oh, cool.
Her likes are sweets, video games, comics, manga, boys, napping.
And what?
Napping.
Okay.
Dislikes: math, English, dentist, thunder, lightning, carrots.
Okay. Weird.
But yeah, so this was the episode, like you were saying. Where the boys all start to turn evil and acted upon their darker thoughts.
Yeah, they act like middle schoolers in real life.
Where, because a woman whispered in their ears, do whatever it is you want with no consequences. Which is something you should never tell a teenage boy. And I'm not promoting like the thought process with that, to where, haha, I'm a boy, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But you don't
Look, we've been through middle school. There's a lot of boys that really do not need to hear that.
And which is in result turns the episode to where the teacher's yelling at the nerd friend, aka Umino, and which I even put in my notes, I'm gonna never call him his actual fucking name since he sucks.
Yeah, the nerd friend.
He flips the teacher's skirt and then tries to kiss Usagi in the same exact span of a few seconds.
He's so gross. He's so gross.
Yes. And then, of course, the monster of the week, as I put in quotations, turns all the men in class evil, which results in Usagi fighting the woman, aka the monster of the week, defeating her. Same way she always does, the Moon Tiara Blast.
Yep, just one throw, and it's done.
And of course, Tuxedo Mask does appear in this episode.
And what's he do? Nothing?
Pretty much. I think this episode he just literally stands in the window and talks to her. What he does in almost every episode.
Yeah, shows up, says a thing, goes.
He's on total on-screen time, because I'm not adding his non-Tuxedo Mask persona. I'm only doing the Tuxedo Mask persona because I don't really care much when he's not in costume.
Yeah.
But he's only on screen for this episode for 15 seconds in the Tuxedo Mask attire. So
no one cared who I was until I put on the mask.
We're on a grand total of 32 seconds that he's been on screen in the first two episodes.
Jesus.
Episode 3, which was titled... do you have any thoughts on episode 2, by the way?
Let me check my notes. Nerd friend sucks. Total creep. Fuck the mom, but in a different way.
Did the mom even show up that episode?
I have no idea, but it's still in my notes.
Okay.
Anyway, episode 3. I forget what that one was.
A mysterious sleeping illness. Protect the girls in love.
Okay. Sounds familiar.
It's the radio episode where the radio station doesn't exist.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that one was a thing.
So, of course, the episode starts out with the fact that we learned that Usagi's teacher is a lonely 32-year-old woman. I don't know why we needed to learn that in the episode, but we do.
I needed to learn that, yes. We all know why we needed to learn that.
On a side note, this is the actual first introduction to between Usagi and Jadeite, who throughout most of my notes is referred to as the villain that's voiced by Todd Haberkorn.
The blonde that fails a lot because it's mostly filler.
It's his first introduction with Usagi. But this is where I point out that Usagi's parents have a really great relationship, which means in anime rules, one of them is going to die.
Yeah. Through cancer, as we discussed, because Usagi is a cancer.
With this episode, though, it is, again, like I said, where they find a radio station that only plays late at night, and that after they listen to it, it puts a lot of people into an eternal slumber that most other people don't believe that they heard it. Usagi's somehow immune to it, I think because of her...
Because main character.
Yeah, plot armor. I think
you can't kill the main character.
I think the teacher got, like, attacked, like, stuck in it because she just has shit luck throughout the show.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, she does. Of course, I've put, fuck all the people gaslighting Usagi about Midnight Zero not existing. And then in the exact same sentence, man, the moon really gives her a lot of powers, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Because this was an episode where she got a new ability, I believe.
Didn't she transform?
Yeah, it was her first time transforming into
something that really shouldn't have worked.
A hot adult woman, I believe, was the exact terms.
I feel like there was more, like, describing terms to, like, what she did, but yeah, all right.
Then, of course, I've been jotting down, like, lines of the episode that, like, I just find fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And this one was, what are you talking about? He's the enemy? Oh, does he have to be? Because it was when the top Jadeite first appears, and Luna's like, that's our enemy. And Usagi just finds him fucking hot.
Yeah. She has, like, a crush on, like, every guy. Like, every guy that is, like, within 5 years of her age.
It is very accurate for a 14-year-old girl, though.
How do you know?
Well, considering I have a little sister, and you know who.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's watching, so I can somewhat make fun of her.
Yeah, make fun of her. Do it. Right now.
But this is also where we learned that the top Havercorn villain can deflect her insta-kill Moon Tiara blast.
Which had me hyped, because it's not just a one-shot kill against the main enemies.
But you see it happening a lot, like, later on, too. Or because it's a throwing attack, like, they'll just dodge out of the way.
As they should.
And then Tuxedo Mask does show up in this episode. I think it was only for like 6 seconds, but he literally does jack shit. Doesn't even say anything. I think he throws his rose at Jadeite, and then
leaves.
Yeah, him and Jadeite just like fuck off. So I literally didn't count the amount of time he was on screen.
I think he's just a plot device more than a character. I think Tuxedo Mask is part of the plot arm of Sailor Moon. Wouldn't you agree?
That would make a lot more sense.
That Tuxedo Mask is actually one of her abilities.
You know what?
She can summon Tuxedo Mask.
I'm not going to count that out because, from my understanding, she has a lot of fucking
absurd powers.
Yeah.
I would write that down and see if we're right when you binge all of it.
But yeah, that was episode 3.
Yeah, not a lot happened.
Episode 4. Learn how to be skinny from Usagi. This was the gym episode.
Oh yeah, I remember this one. Because the teacher was even more hot than usual.
Yes.
Which had me hyped.
I keep forgetting Usagi is a teenage girl, but damn, her family is a bunch of dicks. That's literally how I start off this episode for the notes.
They were making fun of her weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all she likes to do is eat. Which, to be fair, she doesn't... With how much she eats, and, like, she eats and is hungry a lot.
Yeah.
She really doesn't gain a lot of weight.
No.
But then again, her eating... It's Japan, 1992, so her eating a lot is probably the equivalent to just our everyday.
Yeah. And, like, I think the weight that she was, if they stated it at all, definitely not overweight, but different culture.
Didn't mark down if they ever said what her weight was.
I mean, she's obviously not overweight.
I gotta look at my notes that I...
Which means that her family is indeed just a bunch of dicks.
Oh. My notes fixed themselves. Because it put a period instead of a comma like they were supposed to be. On top of her family being a bunch of dicks, so is Luna this episode. Because Luna was giving her shit for all the eating she does.
Yeah. Luna's like one of the only characters in the show.
This is gonna probably not make sense to you, but you meet a little bit more of Usagi's friends this episode. Quotation marks around friends because they are only... I think they've only shown up in the filler episodes, other than the redheaded friend and the nerd friend.
Mm-hmm.
But the one friend reminds me of Betty Boop.
What?
She was the friend that was standing there that was a little overweight.
Oh, yeah. That one. That appeared in just that episode. And never again.
She's appeared in other episodes.
As a character or just in the background?
As a character. She talks in another one.
I'm going to be honest, I do not remember her in any other episodes.
I'm trying to see if I can find her name. Episode list, episode 4. See, I could just pull up the list, like the plot of each episode, but I don't want to do that.
I mean, what we retain from it is like part of how good the anime is. Wouldn't you think so?
The problem is it doesn't say the friend's name. It says the other friend's name, which is Naru, which is that...
Did they even say the friend's name?
I don't know. I'm gonna look her up real quick.
I don't think they do.
I hate how they have her wikied. She's an unnamed background character
I told you.
The first season of the anime, notable for being significantly shorter and chubbier than most of the anime compatriots.
Told you, background character.
The way she's named in it is Usagi's fat friend. That is fucking terrible. I was hoping she would have an actual name.
No, background character, bitch.
Wow.
Get fucked on, nerd.
But yeah, she reminds me of Betty Boop. And then
I don't understand that, but all right.
It's because she looks like a 30s cartoon character a bit.
Okay, I don't see it, but all right.
I'm trying to add the picture to the stream, but I can't without saving it, and I don't want to save it.
That's too much effort.
And I don't want to share my screen because a lot of the fucking pictures that showed up with it are weird.
Ooh, don't. Yeah, do not share your screen while searching up anime of any kind.
But yeah, no, this episode was mainly just them working out at the gym.
Yeah.
We also learned that the nerd is a peeping Tom, which makes fucking sense for this character.
Which makes it even worse.
I've noted that the teacher really doesn't look any different after working out as much as she said she is.
Yeah.
Of course, the best line of this episode was, "Free? Can't get any cheaper than that."
It could. It could actually. They could be paying you.
Of course, before we realized this was filler,
Yeah.
it's where I really started to get aggravated by the fact that she doesn't recognize fucking Jadeite whenever she sees him.
Jadeite doesn't even try to disguise himself.
No, he doesn't. And it pisses
He's
me off.
always just Jadeite.
Because she doesn't ever fucking notice. This anime could be a whole lot shorter if she realized that Jadeite was Jadeite.
Yeah, well, doesn't she say she's kind of dumb?
Oh, shit. Oh, I think I might be an episode ahead.
Who cares?
I forgot to say with last episode, but this is the first episode where we see people around when Luna talks. And it really does make me wonder, can people hear Luna? Like, I get that it's filler, but other people have to be able to hear Luna, right?
Look, it's either Persona, where they can't hear the cat unless they've done something or whatever.
Been to the metaverse.
Yeah. And or, right, like comic books where no one cares. No one cares.
This was okay. With this episode, because of how often she's headed to the gym, the teacher ends up going into an endless sleep, quotation marks, because it's fixed at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Which of course prompted me to say, man, this poor teacher really can't catch a break. Her skirt gets flipped, gets put into an endless sleep, and now her soul is getting sucked out. Like, this poor teacher, dude.
It all sounds bad except for the soul getting sucked out.
And then of course they do the typical 90s villain, like when Usagi defeats the villain. I'll get you next time, Sailor Moon.
Does she even beat him?
She beats the main villain, but Jadeite's like, I'll get her next time.
Why does he do that again?
Because he's watching every one of the fights. Because
Couldn't he just, like, beat her right there?
probably, but where's the plot?
I'd like to see Tuxedo Mask get summoned as plot armor.
So, he doesn't show up at all that episode.
Yeah, because Jadeite didn't fight Sailor Moon. That's why. If he would have fought, then Tuxedo Mask definitely would have been summoned.
Like, even checking my notes,
Yeah.
he did not show up that episode. Because this is back when I was still writing in my blue pen. I missed that pen. But now we're on to episode 5. Which was called Scent of a Monster? Chanela will steal your love. It's the focus episode of her brother. Where her brother finds Luna sleeping in his bed and freaks out because he doesn't like cats.
And doesn't he go get a pet?
Yeah, it's called a Chanela.
A cursed pet? Yeah.
Well, in his defense, he didn't know it was cursed.
Should have known. Because that's not a... it wasn't even a natural-looking animal.
It's anime. It could have been a real animal in their world.
I suppose.
But they're called Chanellas. Which Tuxedo Mask does appear in her dream sequence in the beginning of the episode. For 5
Does
seconds.
that count?
I'm counting it because he didn't appear in the last episode.
Okay.
So, but he did a lot more in her dream than he ever does in an actual like scene that he's in.
And what did he do again?
He ended up defeating the monster in her dream.
Of course. Because it wasn't real. He does nothing otherwise.
I put in my notes, brother is afraid of cats. What a loser.
I know, right? Who can be afraid of cats?
Then I put, goddamn Usagi and her small mind for food is hilarious. No, like, reasoning for it, like, in the notes at all. But
I would doubt that there was reasoning for anything.
Nerd Friend still sucks, even though his mom's Nerd Friend still sucks. And he thought his mom's purse was a fucking crocodile when he was a kid.
Huh?
So, in the episode, they're explaining to... Like, Usagi's talking about how her brother's afraid of Luna. And she gives the backstory that, like, the cat had jumped into his, like, stroller when he was an infant and attacked him. And that's why he's afraid of cats. And Umino's like, oh yeah, that's why I'm afraid of crocodiles. Because when I was younger, I crawled into the mouth of a crocodile and it clamped down. And they're all staring at him because man should be dead. Man's 100% should be dead.
Yeah.
But it turns out that, no, it's just his mom's purse.
God damn. What an idiot.
So yeah, the little brother, Luna shows up to the little brother's school, tries to befriend the little brother at school. The little brother doesn't want to befriend her because doesn't like cats.
Mm-hmm.
So his friend in the school ends up taking him to the Monster Ran pet store that's in the area because they're trying to steal the love of an animal for, like, the love people can have for an animal from everybody to power up the main villain, which we haven't even said her name yet. Her name is Queen Beryl. Go ahead and say what you want about her.
Total MILF. Anyway, that's all.
Which their names are Chanellas, and they have a perfume-like scent to them to make the people fall in love with them. Which, for some reason, half-awake me thought that was the funniest fucking thing he heard because Chanella, like the perfume, Chanel.
That makes sense. I didn't catch that. I'm not up to date on my perfume knowledge.
It ends with the episode, the brother gets the pet, brings it home, and, like, Luna is instantly on guard against his pet because she can sense that something's wrong. And she tries to go up to the brother, like Luna, to befriend the brother, and the fucking brother punts Luna. Like, he fucking just straight up kicks her.
Yeah, animal abuse.
Which,
against some kind of alien cat.
I was just like, God damn.
Is it animal abuse if it's an alien?
I don't know.
Huh. Well,
and
anyway.
then we get to school where, of course, like usual, typical fashion, everybody in her class has that new, like, hyperfixation that's stealing their soul.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the teacher, like, all the girls in the class start freaking out because they hid it in their desk, but they can't hold it for 5 minutes. It's like kids and their fucking vapes nowadays, to where they gotta have that Jones fix.
Yeah.
And the teacher tries to confiscate one of the Chanellas, and one of the fucking students pushes the teacher, and that single push knocked the fucking teacher out. And I was just like, this teacher really can't catch a fucking break.
Nope.
Um,
Not at all.
Which, of course, blanks out the theory I had, which was a funny one that I didn't really think was true, but I thought it was funny. Which is, I thought the teacher might be Sailor V.
Yo, what if?
Because we haven't mentioned it yet, but since the first episode, we found out that
Yeah.
there is a Sailor Scout named Sailor V that has a bunch of video game merchandise and shit like that around the world.
Dude, if that teacher is a sailor, she has to be like the unluckiest one ever.
And then, of course,
Everything always happens to her.
this episode is where I said Usagi's catchphrase should come from. And it's, "I'm sorry, Luna, I screwed up." Because Usagi goes to the pet store, takes one into Chanella's home with herself because she falls in love with it, starts like berating Luna. Luna steals the Chanella. I think she eats it.
Huh?
So Luna picks up the Chanella out of Usagi's hands
Yeah.
and jumps into a bush with it, and we don't see it again. We just see Luna come out of that bush. So my theory is Luna ate it like a cat because it looks like a rat.
And didn't just dispose of it, just straight up ate it.
Yeah.
Understandable. I don't know if I agree, but valid line of thinking.
Of course, this is where I really start the theory of, well, not theory, but questioning of, why the fuck does every female monster in this goddamn series have titties?
I have no idea, but I appreciate it.
Every single one has had a set of titties on them. I didn't write down what Tuxedo Mask and Luna were saying, but whatever it was I agreed with them. Which means Tuxedo Mask shows up this episode, but I didn't count it, which means it really couldn't have been a lot. So we're just going to add 5 seconds.
Maybe it was Tuxedo Mask in his regular street clothes and not actually Tuxedo Mask.
No, because it's set with because I do have him in my notes set up as plain Tuxedo Mask if he shows up out of costume. Mm-hmm. It's just Tuxedo Mask, which I'm just gonna say he was on screen for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it seems about right.
That's his usual runtime of him to say something real quick and then dick out or throw his rose. Also, she gets a new power this episode that I think does become canon. I think it was used in a canon episode, which is the Nice Moon Tiara Stardust.
Nice Moon Tiara Stardust.
Yes, that was his exact name.
God.
We also learned that
special name canon. Am I right?
We also learned that a glowing ass means weak point. Which, of course, she defeats the villain of the week.
What's the context?
Because the monster had her like held by the throat, basically, and Luna's like, aim for that glowing mark at the base of her tail. Which, of course,
yes, the ass.
Usagi beats the monster of the week, and her brother and all the other kids break out of the mind, like are freed of the mind control of the Chanellas and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the brother demands her autograph. He's chasing her to get her autograph, and she's hiding behind a car. Of course, he's going, Sailor V, I need your autograph, Sailor V. And she corrects him and goes, I'm not Sailor V, I'm Sailor Moon.
And why does he, of all people, not recognize her?
That's exactly where I was going with it, because it's
not like
her voice.
He's not disguised.
It's literally just Usagi. And then Luna, and then she's like, oh, well, be nice to that black cat Luna that's in your house. And maybe next time I see you, I'll give you my autograph. And Luna, he sees Luna on the fucking car on the one side. And doesn't piece together that, oh shit, why is this cat here?
You know, it's maybe to come back later.
I doubt it's filler. Because, yeah, we're still in the filler episodes. We're only on episode 5 out of the 10.
Maybe to come back later in a filler arc.
Now we're on episode 6. Protect the Melody of Love. Usagi plays Cupid. This is the episode with the jazz musician who's in love with, I think, the woman who runs, like, the studio he records at.
Uh-huh.
And I noticed that the Jadeite, which is the villain that again in my notes, it's man the villain that's voiced by Tad Haberkorn, because I just could not remember the villain's name for the longest time. But him and Usagi both have that heart-shaped bang deal going on. Again, this is before we realized that 90% of these episodes are filler.
Yeah.
So I was like,
So we're trying to think, what is the connection to all of this?
exactly. So of course I went foreshadowing, and then
No.
I pointed out that they gave the jazz musician the usual typical like jazz voice.
What, the radio host thing?
Like the deep, like, it's all cool. Like that type of voice.
It's all cool, guy.
Yeah. The main baddie of this episode was a succubus, or as I call them, a succubitch.
Uh-huh. Probably one of the best villains so far. Out of the villains that did things.
Yeah. Of course, Usagi has her transformation this episode because she needs to get into a jazz club where this guy's at, because she's chasing him down, and the main villain's chasing him down because he accidentally took a tape that she was using to control the women or some shit like that who were listening to his music on the radio. Because he had originally recorded a thing that was just him confessing his love, because it was like a song for a Kiko or something like that. Most of this is just off memory, by the way. My notes aren't very detailed for this episode. So she sneaks into the jazz club with her new changed look, which of course she says changed me into a hot musician. And of course the hot musician gave me Manic the Hedgehog from Sonic Underground vibes, because it gave her the green hair and like it made me think of Manic.
Do you think Manic's hot?
So
Don't avoid that question.
I then in my notes go, man, maybe
You didn't answer me.
maybe the villain isn't a succubus, but maybe a vampire, which is lame because vampires are.
Do you
lame.
think Manic is hot?
And then of course I realized I really relate.
Just answer the question.
I will not.
Icy, answer the question.
No.
I will assume that's a yes.
But
Can't believe you think Manic's hot.
I really do relate to Usagi way too much at times.
You're not denying it.
Should I even try to at this point? It might be funnier if I don't. Because she's really just a fucking lazy person.
Yeah, she is.
Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the anime chat where we're talking about the first 10 episodes of Sailor Moon. With these first 10 episodes, 90% of it's filler.
Yeah.
Only like 3 episodes were canon, but I'm glad you like anime talk too.
Yeah, 3 out of 10. That's 10% actual story, right?
What's our top 5 favorite animes? For me, it would go Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood, Bleach, Naruto, Black Clover, and I don't know what the 5th one would be. How about you, Saul?
Inferno Cop.
No, Inferno Cop is not on that list.
Inferno Cop.
Once we do the episode on Inferno Cop, most people will understand why it's not on my list.
Inferno Cop.
But, Saul, you want to go through your top 5 animes?
Just did.
How about you, Ryosuke? What's your top 5?
Yes, please tell us. Also, Dragon Maid is pretty good, I'd say. Top 5.
It's also where I start to really get tired of the same attacks being reused over and over. And I had the same complaint with like shonen anime, like Dragon Ball Z. I get tired seeing the Kamehameha every episode.
Well, filler.
Naruto spamming the Rasengan every episode, other than Talk no Jutsu.
Well, that's his most powerful one too.
Your top 5 are Gundam Iron Blood Orphans, Ghost in the Shell, Sack, Attack on Titan, Psycho Pass, Fate Unlimited Blade Works. I've seen Attack on Titan. I'm not super into it. I understand it's a good series and a lot of people like it. I just couldn't get into it. I've never seen an episode of Gundam. The most I know,
Not yet.
not yet. You're right. And I've seen some of Fate, and I've seen a little bit of Psycho Pass. But yeah, no, I just get tired of seeing the same fucking attacks over and over again in anime. But I get it, it makes it easier for the animation artists, like the animators. It makes it easier
Well,
for
there's
them.
2 things to consider. It's easier, and it was filler.
Fair. And then, of course, the episode ends with the jazz musician realizing that Usagi is Sailor Moon. Like, he watches her transform and everything.
Yeah.
And that's just how the episode ends.
Good thing it never happened.
Yeah. But it was an okay episode.
It was aight.
Now we're on to episode 7. Which is Usagi learns her lesson. Becoming a star is hard work. This is the episode where they're all trying to be idols. Basically, like...
yes. The classic idol dream.
And of course, the first thing in my notes was, of course this fucking nerd knows the internet in 1992.
Yeah, well, what do you think he's doing on the internet?
Ordering shit offline.
Yeah, what kind of stuff?
He ordered a girl in sports gear poster, which was, I guess, that graduating student that they had from their school.
Mm-hmm.
So she graduated and was given a deal back in 1992 for about 2 million yen. And this is where that, when we were talking before, when we were playing Tiny Tina's,
Yeah.
me, you, and Mech, we were talking about it. And I was like, I did all this math. Here's where this math comes from. So 2 million yen in 1992, adjusted for inflation for 2022, would be about 2,141,301.77 yen. Making it about 17,219.96 thousand US dollars that she was offered to model after high school.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
We also, in this episode, hear them saying the typical usual anime trope to where they're doing karaoke instead of getting a licensed song. They just reuse the anime's opening theme song. You know that trope?
Yeah. I do know that.
They threw it in this episode with Usagi and her friend... What the fuck is that friend's name? Naru. Where they're trying...
I mean, my favorite of the opening theme karaoke from an anime was Uzaki.
Yes. But they start singing the theme song together. And I ranked it out of 1 to 10. I ranked it a 3. Because they fucking sucked.
Yeah, well...
And then I pointed out that they had a fast as fuck like band fallout because they just couldn't agree. Like, they had just had their first practice and they're like, fuck you, I'm gonna go be on my own and be the best.
Well, they have no talent and they're just trying to make it big right then and there. No practice. Like, they practice once and fall apart because they're not good enough.
I, of course, pointed out also that Usagi should be tested out and, like, tested for mental disabilities.
Oh? What's the reasoning?
She's a lot like me. And I technically should go get myself tested, but I don't want to.
Yeah, probably because you think Manic is hot.
Shut up. Uh,
Uh-huh. Interesting reaction.
this is also so. Man, my notes are really hard to read at times because they're just jumbled
Get
like.
better handwriting, nerd.
No, I'm looking at my actual typed out notes and it's just jumbled thoughts that I was just like, haha, future me will understand this.
No. Uh-uh.
Uh, so again, off memory, the friend Naru ends up finding douchebag nerd friend,
Yeah.
tells him that he should help her out, and he's like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to upset Usagi. And the friend's just like, but Usagi will like you more. And he's like, all right, fuck it, I'm down. And she has him dress in drag.
Plot twist. She doesn't like him.
And it's at the point to where with her dressed in drag, like he's dressed in drag and he starts acting it in school. And she's like, hey, don't do that in public. Like, don't, you're going to blow our act. I also took note that Tuxedo Mask did not appear in the last episode, so he didn't appear in episode 6 at all.
Good.
Other than
I
the
don't
dream
like him.
sequence. Like, he appears out of costume in that episode. Like, he bumps into her and he calls her Bunhead like he always does. Which in the original English dub, he calls her Meatball Head.
Which I don't understand. I feel like Bunhead works way better.
100%, but because it's more like the steam bun, like the Japanese steam buns type deal.
Yeah.
And it's the same way they did with Pokemon and turning rice balls into jelly-filled donuts.
Like, you can't tell me that those weren't jelly-filled donuts.
We go over this every time.
Yeah, they are jelly-filled donuts. Stop denying the truth.
Luna is still the voice of reason in this episode, as always.
Well, that's her role as a character, right?
Pretty much. She is basically Usagi's Jiminy Cricket. And she is doing a very shitty job at it.
Well, the child doesn't listen.
I also pointed out that Wu's students fighting over who's the better performer is great to watch because they're all like fighting each other because they thought they were better than the other.
And they're all terrible.
Because the villain was sitting in the room as they're all fighting because she's stealing their desire, I guess. She rotates her head completely around like the Exorcist. And I was just like, man, I wish I could do that. I want to look behind me at times.
You can if you try hard enough.
And then, of course, I made the realization the nerd's 100% a scalar stout, isn't he? With how much I hate his character.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Tuxedo Mask does appear in this episode.
Oh, what's he do? Say a thing and leave?
Yes, but this is, I think, his longest appearance so far.
6 seconds.
20 seconds.
Whoa. That must be like another line of dialogue.
So between all 7 episodes in Tuxedo Mask attire, he's been on screen for 62 seconds.
Gotta love that.
But he actually was his most useful in this episode, in my mind. She's getting encased in glass, and he throws his rose and shatters the glass that was encasing her.
Actually doing something, you know. Guaranteed that Tuxedo Mask is probably a power of Sailor Moon.
But that's basically the episode.
Kind of like how in One Punch Man, King's power is to summon Saitama.
Fair.
Which makes him the strongest character.
But good news. We're on the next canon episode.
Oh, finally.
Episode 8. The Genius Girl is a Monster? The Brainwashing Cram School of Horror. This episode is where we're introduced to our second Scalar Sout, which is Ami.
A way more competent one.
She is the smartest student in their middle school, which of course makes Luna worried that it's just a monster in disguise. Because Luna's been noticing that weird shit's been going on. So, of course, she makes Sailor Moon investigate. This is where the meme that used to circulate where Sailor Moon's holding the floppy disk in her hand.
Yeah.
This is the episode where that originates.
I have to look up that meme. I don't remember it.
Give me a few seconds and I'll put it on the actual stream. I might be thinking of the wrong episode. But this is the first time a floppy disk appears.
Yeah.
In the series.
Immediately dating the series back to the far past.
Of 1992.
Yeah, back when cavemen were still around.
Seeing the art style change. Wait, no, this might be the actual episode. Because it looks like that scene.
Probably is that episode that.
Save image. This picture.
Let me turn around. Do you have it up on stream?
Yeah. It's where that picture appears for the first time because it drops out of Ami's like school bag. Yeah, it's the same episode. Because it's also where Luna uses a computer.
Yeah, I don't see it yet. But also I'm watching it on my phone, and that has been lagging a lot.
But yeah, so basically Ami goes to a tutoring thing to where everybody who goes there uses that floppy disk, and that's what steals their soul essence, basically.
Yeah.
And
as floppy disks are known to.
I also related to the fact that Usagi likes to read manga instead of studying, which is the exact same thing I did all throughout middle school and high school.
Yeah, it is.
Yet somehow I was still a B student. Like,
I mean, it's not like school was hard.
And then, of course, I got mad because, wow, the nerd made a Dragon Ball Z reference with, it's over 9,000. How funny.
Yeah. Like, the unfunniest meme.
The Betty Boop character shows up this episode.
The unnamed background character. Yeah, what's your name again?
I'm not saying it again because that just felt wrong.
Why? Why, what's your name?
She's just a bitch. Like, they're sitting there shit-talking Ami because of how smart Ami is. They're like, I can't approach her. She seems like a bitch. And I was just like, no, you guys are the bitch.
Yeah. They are the collective bitch.
So, Usagi's trying to befriend Luna because... I mean, not Luna.
Yeah, Luna's already a friend, question mark.
I call Luna because Usagi, like, points out that Luna thinks she's an angel, and I was just like, Luna is an angel, Usagi.
Yeah. But 100%.
Usagi tries to befriend Ami.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of letting Ami go to her cram course, she takes her to an arcade, and Ami's like, I've never done something like this. And like,
Oh, and immediately is a master at it.
you see you see Usagi playing the arcade game for Sailor V, and she gets like a good like 500 points. And then Ami fucking sits down and plays it and gets like over 1,000,000 points. Her first time ever playing it, and then she realizes the time and goes, oh shit, I gotta go. It's also where you see the weird 20-something-year-old arcade worker dude that she has a crush on.
Oh yeah. I feel like you meet him way before then.
Costumeless tuxedo mask pops up and understood Luna. Like, Luna says something and he turns around and goes, did that cat just speak? And I was just like, and that's what really has me going. Who can all understand Luna?
Only main characters. Only main characters can.
Luna can use a computer while Usagi cannot.
Well, what it is, the 90s.
Fair. But a cat using a computer over Usagi?
Well, later on, she just spawns a supercomputer that looks like a DS.
Yeah.
She's also an alien, so...
So, through them using the disc, they find out that they still think Ami is the monster, so they break into the studying room that they're all in.
No,
And
she's the victim.
Ami's just like, what are you doing? Because Usagi changes her look so that Ami doesn't recognize her, so she makes herself look like a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, Usagi breaks in the room and goes, stop what you're doing, get away from the computers. And the nerd friend goes, what are you doing? You can't interrupt us while we're studying. And I was just like, Ami's a fucking nerd.
Yeah. 100%.
And then the monster comes out of nowhere and it's just like, haha, I'm the real bad guy. You're fucking dumb for thinking it was this dumb girl. And so Usagi, of course, transforms into Sailor Moon, which is a 30-second sequence of her just spinning around. And then as the monster's fighting her, it's like, describe Earth's gravity. What is Earth's gravity? And Usagi's just like, I don't know, man.
And then what happens?
Luna gives her the answer. It was like, what? How did Newton discover gravity? And Usagi's like, I don't fucking know. Which, fair. And Luna's just like, an apple fell on Newton's head. And Usagi repeats
That's actually false.
But Usagi repeats it, and she goes, correct. And then it's like, describe Earth's
But that's
gravity.
incorrect, though. That's not how it happens. That's
Earth's,
a myth.
Describe Earth's gravity in 50 words or less. And I was just like, how? How do you want somebody to describe Earth's gravity in 50 words or less? Because that's impossible.
All right, well, yeah, I can do it. Thing fall down.
And then
That's all there is to it.
Ami's about to die by this monster because the monster wants her brains. Or some shit like that. So Luna kicks over the scepter-type pen deal thing that they all use to transform.
Yeah.
And tells her to say these words. And I just thought to myself, I was just like, you know what? If a red demon thing is coming after me and I'm about to die, and a cat kicks me except there and says, say these words, I'm 100% going to say these words because I'm a 100% think this is a fucking dream.
Yeah.
Because
until you realize that, no, you're a magical girl now.
Because Ami is the Mercury Sailor Scout.
Mm-hmm.
Which gives us two of the Sailor Scouts with Moon and Mercury. And then, of course, I really do point out that I'm getting so tired of this villain of the week trope. But then again, this is the only the second canon episode. So.
Which has been so far after the first episode.
And then
it took so long to get back onto the canon.
It really does. And then the next canon episode isn't until episode 10.
Yeah.
So it's a filler episode.
Which was a good episode, to be fair.
Yes. So, episode 9. Usagi's Disaster, Beware the Clock of Confusion, which we had watched before.
Mm-hmm.
But we did not remember watching it, which says a lot about the episode.
It was not interesting.
It was not. So, the episode's about how a woman's monster of the week is selling clocks, and Usagi's, like, she's selling them at such a low rate. Like, their pocket watches, wrist watches.
You said they were like $100.
Yeah, it was, well, so, yen conversion. It was like, what, 1,400 yen, we're going to say?
Yeah.
It was $10.
Okay, now that's cheap. But
1,400 yen is $10.88.
yeah.
So really, it would be about it would be about $15 given inflation of the time period. But yeah, so she's selling all these clocks. Usagi still can't afford the clock, which was funny, because Usagi only had a 1,000 yen note on her.
Yeah. Poor.
Relatable.
Yeah. I'll cry about it later.
So her mom and Naru's mom and the nerd's mom. You don't see their moms. You only see. Well, you do see Naru's mom in the first episode, but you only see Usagi's mom. And she was like, "I went shopping with their moms, and I bought you this, so that way you wouldn't show up late to school again." Because Usagi has a hard time waking up, which is also relatable.
Yeah, because she's bad at school.
Again, relatable.
Yeah.
I'm also eating cotton candy. It's not relevant to the conversation. That's what you keep
You're
hearing.
eating
back.
cotton candy?
Yeah,
Who just eats cotton candy?
me. And Hazy.
Why'd you eat cotton candy? I feel like that's one of those things that you eat like once every few years if you're just like at a fair one day or
I bought it
at a sports event.
I bought it at Walmart. It's like a giant tub of cotton candy.
Cotton candy isn't even good.
It's literally just sugar, dude.
I know. It doesn't even taste good.
Well, mine is lemon blue raspberry. But Usagi tells people not to read this episode. Like, no, don't study type deal.
Solid advice.
Because Ami was just like, no, I have to study.
Mm-hmm.
My notes, because we literally just watched the episode like an hour ago. My notes aren't super detailed. Like, I didn't get a chance to actually type them out.
It's not like much happened anyway.
Ami and Usagi swap books because they're at a library or like they're buying books so Ami can study type deal.
Mm-hmm.
And they swap books, and Yami's book is nothing but text. And Usagi's was the picture book.
Yeah, that was a funny gag.
Which is the first time I've never related to Usagi.
Yeah.
But
well, she reads those mangoes, you know?
Well, that's where I was getting at is I put 100% they're lewd fan fiction.
God, I hope not. Probably like Harry Potter fan fiction.
Watch out. She might end up watching the stream soon.
It's probably like Harry Potter fan fiction.
I'm telling her we're making fun of her on stream.
Yeah, it's probably like Harry Potter x Manic the Hedgehog fanfiction.
My phone autocorrected fanfiction to dick ton.
What now? What now?
Um, and then of course, like I said, the mom buys her the black cat clock that she was eyeing that looked like Luna.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the episode where you like Ami gets that DS looking like supercomputer,
Yeah.
which it will never show up again because this is a filler episode.
But it was a cool ability while it lasted.
Because like the mom hands Usagi the clock, and we knew the clock was evil, but I had made the notion that in today's anime climate, we both know that the scene would have had an unnecessary lewd scene of the clock having a camera in it.
100% it would have.
Where Usagi gets changed in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's today's anime climate where not that I'm complaining. As long as they're of age, like they're drawn to be over 18, I don't really care if it's lewd. It's when they're fucking like 12, 13, like some animes do.
Where it gets really, really weird.
Konosuba was
when
bad.
It doesn't have to be.
Konosuba was bad with Megumin with that.
Yeah.
But
that's like the reason I don't really want to watch it.
And like because of these clocks that everybody has, it makes them want to speed up and do everything faster.
Yeah.
So the teacher cancels class, and it's like, I'm canceling class. I got 4 dates to go on. I was like, yes, you get them dates.
Yeah. Yes, queen. Slay.
Exactly.
Those 4 dates are with me.
And then I put in my notes the fact that it was the bus. Like the bus driver was like, we're not stopping till the final destination, and the woman behind them just starts fucking choking him out.
Yeah. You know, they make movies called Final Destination.
But literally, the woman stands up behind him and just starts fucking choking this man out. And I'm just going, what the fuck?
Well, he wouldn't stop. What do you want her to do?
And like you can tell that this one was definitely a filler episode. Because Usagi actually had brains for once. Let's just transform now instead of... As soon as we get in there with transform. We're going to transform now, so we're already powered up.
It was only like that because she was impatient. I doubt it was any intelligence.
Tuxedo Mask does show up this episode 2 times.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was...
For how long?
For a grand total of 24 seconds.
Oh, wow. Impressive.
So 86 seconds so far. But he was actually somewhat useful this episode. Because he when Usagi basically he's in the same area as them looking for Usagi.
Mm-hmm.
And Usagi and Ami are fighting a villain. And the villain freezes Ami in time. And because of how much of the energy she siphoned out of Usagi can't move. So he throws one of his roses into the clock. And that stops her powers and lets Ami move again. And Usagi move again. Which I didn't talk about Ami's power, but it's somewhat broken.
What does it do?
She can create that mist that stops the enemy from seeing her, but she can still see the enemy.
So it's just hiding.
Yeah, but it's broken a bit. Like, and especially with the next episode when we get introduced to the next Sailor Scout, like, each of them are kind of broken.
Well, I feel like they need to be to compete with each other, but
And then
where's the enemies that can compete? You know?
the episode ends with them, of course, defeating the monster, who takes time and their energy. And
Yeah.
the episode ends with Naru, which is the redheaded friend, running up to her and going, "Usagi, the cake place is giving out free cake as long as you can eat it fast." Like, free cake for whoever can eat them the fastest.
Yeah.
And of course, Usagi's like, "Fucking sign me up."
And then she trips
Yep.
and falls and cries.
And then
And then the episode ends.
with Ami and Luna going, "She's never going to go out of this, huh?" Ha 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 ha.
She's an idiot.
And then, of
Look
course,
at our dumb friend.
now we're on episode 10. The Cursed Bus. Enter Mars, the Guardian of Fire. And this episode...
Probably the best Guardian.
Yeah.
Or the best Sailor Scout or whatever it is.
So, we're introduced to the episode. As I refer to it, it's the Kagome episode, because the Sailor Scout looks like Kagome from Inuyasha. But it starts off the episode with Beryl talking to Jadeite, like Queen Beryl.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, "You keep failing me, Jadeite. I'm not going to let this failure keep lasting long enough." And he's like, "Don't worry, I have a plan this time."
You had a plan every other time.
So he basically starts working at a shrine that young teenage girls go to get better chances at their relationship and their love life. There's other things that this place offers, but they only want the relationship and love advice one.
Yeah.
Where we're introduced to a PG Roshi, basically. Like, the man definitely seems like a pervert, but he's not a pervert.
Overly friendly. You know?
Exactly. Like,
Overly friendly.
If the anime wasn't written by a woman, he'd be a pervert.
100%.
So Usagi, Naru, another girl, because I don't think Ami went with. No, Ami did go with them. So Usagi, Naru, and Ami all go to the shrine, where of course we're introduced to Rei. She's the young girl that lives at the shrine, aka the new Sailor Scout. And the young girl at the shrine, it's just like, "Oh, my predictions have been going wrong lately, like something's happening. Usually I'm good at predicting futures and stuff like that." Which has Luna going, "Huh, this might be the new Sailor Scout I'm looking for."
Yeah.
Ami senses a demon presence after Jadeite walks by. Fucking pulls out a... Mind you, Jadeite is walking around this fucking complex. Usagi has saw him at least once before this.
Yeah, and he's still not disguised.
He is not. And Usagi does nothing. Doesn't even care.
Does he have like a magical ability that like disguises him to everyone except the person watching the show?
No, because after Rei knocks out Usagi by putting the fucking like demon like thing on her, like the demon talisman, he walks into the room while Usagi's still passed out. So it's Usagi sitting on, like, laying on the futon, Rei on her one side, Luna on her one side, and then it's Naru and Ami. And Jadeite walks into the room, and Luna turns around and goes, "He looks familiar," which means Luna picked is picking up on it, which makes sense. Because I don't think Ami has met Jadeite yet. Ami hasn't met Jadeite yet.
No, but
So it would make sense that Ami doesn't really. But of course, Usagi's woken up because they go, man, he was hot. And Usagi sits right up and goes, hot boy? Where?
of course, but doesn't recognize who it is.
Well, he was gone by then.
Yeah. I mean, he was still walking around the place.
And then as they're leaving, Ami's like, I don't really understand this whole love thing. Like, talking about how they should all be focusing on high school entrance exams.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, man, what a fucking nerd. And then in parentheses, I put Saw's lifestyle.
Yo, what does that mean? What does that mean? Huh?
Fuck
What, Icy?
Fuck relationships. Just worry about them test scores.
I mean, yes, but that's only half of it. The other half is, I don't know, it's a difficult thing to get into.
Literally, though, it is in my notes as Saw's lifestyle. I will send you a picture later.
You think I choose to be single?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yes. Oftentimes, yes.
I think sometimes you look at me and go, I like my life.
Yeah. I value myself very highly.
And that's not saying that me and Hayes, I think me and Hazy are in a good relationship. I just think I'm weird.
Yeah, you're weird.
But this episode, like I said, so the way Jadeite's working in this episode is all these girls that have come for this like talisman they're entering in on a bus that picks them up at the exact time of 6:30. And like the police have been investigating this because these girls have gone missing. Mm-hmm. And Usagi, Ami, and Luna see the bus. Ami and Luna are like, we gotta get on that bus. And Usagi's crying, going, oh, it's scary. No, I don't want to go on it. And
I'm scared of a bus.
So they don't go on it, but Usagi goes back to the temple the next day. Instead of waiting for Luna, well, not Luna, Ami, like she was supposed to, she walks up to Ray. Goes, I saw the bus disappear. And because every girl that's gone missing on that bus has gone first to Ray's shrine, the police and people think it's Ray's grandfather who's abducting these girls.
Yeah.
So Ray,
which makes sense.
Ray gets on the defensive, which is understandable. She's just like, we have no parts in this. Well, Usagi's just like, I don't mean it like that. She was like, because then Ray starts like going, you only came because you're interested in the girls going missing. And Usagi was like, no, I wanted to be your friend. Type deal.
Yeah.
So Usagi,
like, hey, tell me so I can help figure out what's going on.
Canon Usagi is a lot better in her canon episodes than the filler ones.
Yes, they're like two separate entities.
Exactly. Like, don't get me wrong, Canon Usagi is still a 14-year-old girl. So she's going to cry. She's going to be dumb. But she's more...
I mean, filler of any character is totally different from canon of said character. Like Goku, for instance.
She's more willing to do things than the actual villains are. Well, like filler is. So she goes back down to the bus. Of course, she's afraid again. Luna leaves a scepter for Ray because she thinks that Ray is the next Scalar Scout. So Usagi goes...
Spoiler, she is.
Usagi goes back to the bus, transforms, because she's too afraid, so she uses the ability that Luna gave her to transform her looks to look like somebody else. She transforms herself to look like a flight attendant.
for some reason.
It was funny.
Yeah, it made no sense for the
Plot.
yeah, well, for the situation that they were in, but yeah.
So she jumps onto the bus and gets teleported to another dimension and has to fight the bad guy of the week.
Mm-hmm. Which is the third one because it's like the third canon episode that we watched.
The bad guy of the week, because while this is happening, Ray is sitting by a fire with two crows because she has crows for pet, which is fucking awesome, by the way. Or raven.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're ravens. I don't think they're crows. I think they're ravens. Either way, it's fucking awesome. And she's sitting in front of the fire and she's just like, show me who's the reason that this is all happening. And Jadeite shows up in the fire. So she goes right into the room and confronts Jadeite. And Jadeite's like, haha, fuck you. And throws her into the same portal that Usagi just went through.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
So the villain of the week holds Ray against her will because Ami showed up late. Ami was not at this scene because Ami was still at her, I think, cram school lesson. Some shit like that. And
yes,
it's just like, haha, I came too late. So Usagi uses her Moon Tiara Blast to send her tiara at the monster. The monster, of course, jumps over it. And then the monster's like, ha ha, you missed. And the crow hits the monster from the back of the head, releasing Ami for some reason. I guess the crow was able to fly strong enough to hit her with enough force.
I guess.
As soon as Ray's out of her arms, Usagi's like, haha, I didn't actually miss. And gets her with a Dragon Ball Z Galactic Donuts.
And just traps the person.
And this is where Ray transforms into Sailor Mars.
The most competent so far.
Yes. And out of the three so far, with Usagi still learning her powers, Ami still learning her power, and Ray still learning her powers, Ray is the strongest.
Yeah.
Because Ray has the ability to, because she's a shrine priestess,
to use the fireball jutsu, as all priestesses do.
Also has the demon talismans that as soon as she put on this fucking demon, it couldn't move.
Mm-hmm.
So they ended up combining their attacks with Ray using the fire blast that she's able to use because she's Sailor Mars, and Mars means fire, and Sailor Moon using her Moon Tiara Blast together defeat the villain. This is the part of the episode I don't like. They're stuck in the dimension. The portal's closing. Usagi doesn't know how to get out. Ray doesn't know how to get out. Luna doesn't know how to get out. That's fine.
But you know who does?
Well, Ami's on the other side of the portal praying that Usagi can get out of this. Like, I really hope my friend can live. So, it stops the portal from closing and sends down a light beacon that all they have to do is get to the light beacon. Here's where the bullshit comes. Tuxedo Mask appears out of fucking nowhere.
Yes.
Out of fucking nowhere. And
he just shows up.
He's just like, get on the bus, haha. And he somehow has all the other buses connected to him. And they leave the portal. After they leave the portal, Jadeite's standing on top of a building going, I'll get you next time, Sailor Moon. And just fucks off. And the two girls go, oh, that was Tuxedo Mask. Where's Tuxedo Mask? Because Tuxedo Mask just fucking disappears. And the girl, Ray, fell in love with Tuxedo Mask at first sight. And she goes, no, I just wanted to thank him, but we can tell you're in love with him. Grow up. Like, it's one-sided. And Usagi's like, one-sided? What does that mean?
What does it mean, Usagi? What do you think?
And that's literally how the episode ended.
Yep.
And I'm glad you're loving it, Shaggy. It is This has been a very fun, like, stream so far because I'm literally...
The show sucks.
I'm going to sit back down and watch it. Like, probably filler and all because it's got... It's a 200 episode series. I can watch that with literally no ease, especially since we watched the first 10 together. Now I can actually
And
sit down.
40% is, or over 40% filler.
49% is filler. But yeah, no, that was our experience with the 10 episodes. Not a lot happens in the 10 episodes because 3 episodes of it out of the 10 episodes are canon. All the rest is filler padding to get us used to Usagi as a character, Rei as a character, which we don't really see Rei as a character. The next 2 episodes are mainly Rei.
I would rather watch, like, or read the manga, you know?
So I figured it out.
What?
Alright, so remember how we had no memory of watching episode 9?
Yeah.
We skipped it.
How'd we skip it?
We watched episode 10 and 11 instead.
Wow.
Because episode 11 is about them going to that theme park that uses the evil puppet.
I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah, we watched that episode instead. Do we want to talk about that one?
No. It would come down to Mars is the most effective again.
Yes. After, you know, they're chasing Tuxedo Mask in that dream too. But yeah. So that was 10 episodes of Sailor Moon. And as Sawbones said, if you're going to get into Sailor Moon, if you've never seen it before, if you have time on your hands and you want to watch the anime, watch the anime. Look up if you don't want to watch the filler episodes, like you don't want to watch the filler episodes of Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball Z, you just skip GT because you don't want to watch 100% filler.
And
Then
it is all filler.
look up a guide list. It will help you figure out which episodes are filler and which episodes are not. For Sailor Moon, like I said before, 49% of the anime is filler. So that's not to add in the mixed canon filler episodes where some of the episode is canon but some of it's filler. But if you want to just bypass all the filler and you want the canon stuff with Sailor Moon, read the manga.
Read it.
Because there's 2 series with Sailor Moon. There's Sailor Moon regular, then there's actually I think there's 3 Sailor Moon series now.
There's a few, yeah.
Well, you got Sailor Moon. You got Sailor Moon Crystal. Then you got like Sailor Moon R. And then you have the movies. But who knows? Maybe if this stream does well, maybe if it going up on YouTube does well, we might sit down and watch one of the Sailor Moon movies.
Maybe.
See how much the universe has changed with a movie.
And we have to fill in the blanks of what happened.
Well, you have to fill in the blanks. We both know I'm going to actually sit down and watch this.
Yeah, I guess. I'll just watch Inferno Cop instead. The best anime ever.
No.
Yeah.
But
It takes all of what's good about anime and just condenses it.
from the first 10 episodes, I can understand why Sailor Moon is loved.
From the first canon episodes. Yes.
I don't get all the hype around Tuxedo Mask. Because with all the screen time of Tuxedo Mask added up, because
I get the meme.
he only shows up in the first 10 episodes. This is adding the filler episodes. He only shows up for a total of 91 seconds. Out of 22 episode, like 22-minute episodes. And he's supposed to be a main character. But do you have anything to add, Saul?
Tuxedo Mask is a meme and nothing else.
Well, that's it. I can't really think of anything else to say other than give it a
Read
try.
manga and yeah.
Read the manga, give it a try yourself, see if you like it. Um, Other than that, follow Sawbones MD on Twitch.
Yes. I'll do that right away.